if they get disclosed, that is going to put me in a situation where I will have to withdraw from the case.
Okay.
If you disclose that information in any way, all of it needs to be destroyed now. But if you disclose it in any way, it's going to put me in a position where I will have to withdraw from the case. If you all choose to go on the internet and try to publicize this stuff, that's going to create real problems.
Okay.
You can't do it, is what I'm telling you. You cannot do it. I will have to move to withdraw from the case.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
So make sure everybody's aware of that.
Are we going to get an evaluation on the prosecutor? I think we're going to put I think we're going to file a motion in Mustafa's case to put a health evaluation on the prosecutor. I mean, the stuff that she's saying in court sounds crazy.
Crazy.
You should see the motion that she filed after the Brady motion got filed. And it's not about Mustafa anymore. It's about the brother of Mustafa. I mean, that is funny.
It's all about you.
And I think Mustafa's defense attorney should file a motion to have the prosecutor Sarah Sammy, mentally evaluated, to be honest with you. I mean, we'll get into what she's telling the court about the brother of Mustafa.
I think the last one is going to be the video.
Yeah, we'll play at the end.
All right.
This is not another boring podcast. Mustafa through the police body cam. Judge Carol Weimer under the microscope. Now, we're not going to jump to the conclusion that Judge Carol Weimer is impartial in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. What we're going to do, we're going to let the community decide if Judge Carol Weimer is impartial. If he's protecting the police department that falsified the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. If he's protecting the prosecutor who's using police officer that's falsifying the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. I'm not going to jump to that conclusion. I'm going to let the community decide. I have a sealed file, and I'm leaking it on the internet. Body cams and document that show that this case is falsified. That the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, officers falsified his statements. The police department crushed and staged Mustafa's car. The children, a 9, a 10, a 14, with the knowledge of prosecutor Sarah Sammy, and a 16-year-old, with the knowledge of prosecutor Sarah Sammy, were weaponized against Mustafa. The prosecutor knows. I have evidence that show that she's been notified every step of the way. What else? Vehicle crushed and staged, children weaponized, statement falsified, a dash camera that's cut and muted. I mean, what's left in this case? The details that are coming out of this case is that Mustafa did everything he can to avoid a vehicle accident.
Let's start
now,
with
the real question is Mustafa entitled to due process?
That's a very good question.
That's a really good question. Out of Prince William County.
So far, it doesn't look like it.
So far, it doesn't look like it. Now, I want to thank Muhammad for being here. Muhammad, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Mustafa is in a county jail for over 2.5 years. Now, Mustafa never waived his speedy trial, but he's been sitting in a county jail for 2.5 years without a trial. That's interesting.
2.5 years.
2.5 years. And now, regardless of what you feel about the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, I think we can all agree that when you're charging Mustafa with murder, Mustafa should be able to defend himself. But if you're going to put Mustafa in jail, deny him bond, and now you put a seal on his case, and now he's in a position where he can't look at his body cams, he can't look at his documents, and he can't defend himself. I think that's a violation of his due process. I think we can all agree, regardless of how you feel about the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, I think we can all agree that Mustafa should be able to defend himself. He should be able to review the material in his case. What's going on here is He's not able to watch the body cams in his case.
I mean, they have him in solitary confinement for 2.5 years. Solitary.
They put a seal on his case. Now, the protective order is not sealing the material from him. You're charging him with a crime.
He's entitled to those documents as the first person to be entitled to it is him. He's the one being accused.
But they'll tell you, we're not sealing this case from Mustafa. We're not. The county tells you we're not.
I mean, in America, if you are accused of a crime, you're entitled to know what you're being accused of. And if there are witnesses in this crime, this alleged crime, you're entitled to know what the witnesses are saying. And in this case, Mustafa has been left in the dark for 2.5 years.
I mean, he's kept completely out of the loop. And
completely in the
how
dark.
could he defend himself and prepare for his trial if he's kept out of the whole entire loop? I mean, you talk to Brad Haywood, Mustafa's defense attorney, Mustafa's current defense attorney. He tells Mustafa, you have to trust me. It's not about trust. It's not about trust. Mustafa has to be able to prepare for his trial.
I mean, look, how many lawyers has he had so far?
Casey Stephen, a number of public defender that were kicked off the case because they never saw Mustafa, and Blake Weiner, who Mustafa was scheduled to trial back in December. And he told Blake, I need my vehicle reconstructed. I mean, the most basic thing you can ask in this case. My vehicle reconstructed and an extraction of the dash camera off the SD card that the police department has.
And that the police admit they tampered with.
The police admit that they tampered with. I mean, when you look at this dash camera, you have a dash camera that has no audio and is cut before impact. And there are 17 frames missing from inside the vehicle. And now you have Officer Chad Mason admitted to tampering with the dash camera. Now,
Mustafa doesn't even know what the alleged witnesses are saying in this case. He's not entitled to look at any body cam. He's not entitled to get any witness statements. He's not allowed to know what if you ask Mustafa today, 2.5 years later, what are you being charged with? He'll tell you, I don't know. I mean, I'm not in jail. I don't even know what he's being charged with. I don't know what the prosecutor's narrative is.
The prosecutor keeps changing.
She keeps changing her narrative. Okay, when he went up for bond back in August of 2023, this prosecutor told a judge that she had a witness that said Mustafa had crashed his car previous to this incident and gave him traumatic brain injury. She's talking about Jason Nance.
Well, now we know that's not true because Jason Nance comes out and he says, I never said that to the police.
I never said that to the police. I never said I was in a car with Mustafa and he crashed his car. I never said that. But if you really think about it, on August of 2023, the judge says, I am not giving you bond because of the Jason Nance allegations.
Based on Jason Nance. Mustafa is denied bond.
And who made that lie in court? Sarah Sammy proffered to the judge that if Mustafa is released, that Mustafa has done this in the past where he used his vehicle as a weapon. That's what she tells the judge. And the judge says, well, I'm not comfortable releasing him anymore. I mean, he was going to release him, but he says specifically because of this incident that
she proffered. Proffer is when she gets to, she lied. Proffer is when she just throws in this evidence.
She flat out lied. And held Mustafa in jail because of her lies. Okay? And Jason Nance comes out today on video, on the record, and says, I never said that to Robert Drum. So Robert Drum not only falsified Mustafa's statements, but he falsified Jason Nance's statement. And the
real question is, where's the body cam when investigator Robert Drum, that's the same investigator that falsified Mustafa's statement. Where's the body cam when he talked to Jason Nance? It's not there.
Okay, so Sarah Sammy also lies about me purchasing a rifle and 1,000 rounds. And we find out in the motion that Robert Drum tells the prosecutor he got a text message from a state trooper who allegedly told him that I purchased a AR rifle from Manassas, Virginia, and 1,000 rounds. He said in her statement of fact, she says that she got that information from Robert Drum, who Robert Drum says he got a text message from a state trooper. But she retracted that statement since. Now, if Robert Drum is going to falsify a state trooper's text message, I'd like to see the text message.
That's what Brad Hayward, Mustafa's current defense attorney, brought up in a Brady motion. He said this prosecutor demonstrate animosity against Mustafa, against the family, and bias. And if by law, if she has animosity as a prosecutor, by law, she cannot be on the case. Automatically, she has to be kicked off the case.
She should have been kicked out a long time ago, to be honest with you.
Now, Prosecutor Sarah Sammy says, I retracted my motion against Muhammad, the brother, who bought an AR-15 with 1,000 round. And then Brad Hayward says, Your Honor, he tells Judge Carol Weimer, I'm satisfied with her retracting the motion. Wait a minute now. Mustafa's defense attorney, is he aware that this prosecutor made allegations that the family is manufacturing bombs in the jail parking lot? Wait a minute. So that's one. Is Brad Hayward aware that Prosecutor Sarah Sammy make an allegation that we're setting the building on fire, the courthouse building on fire? Is Brad Hayward aware that the prosecutor made allegation that the mother of Mustafa Al-Jazari assaulted her in the hallway of the court, feet away from the judge's chambers? Wait a minute. So you're throwing all these allegations against the family, by the way, with no evidence.
With no evidence.
Does that not show animosity?
But Brad Hayward, has personal hate.
Here's the problem I have. I mean, you have to be honest in what's going on in this case. I mean, Brad Hayward in a motion, in a Brady motion, he said, I'm satisfied with prosecutor Sarah Salmon retracting her statement about the AR-15. What about the other statement that she's made on the record?
Let me ask you this.
Forget that. Within 10 minutes, she turns around and she tells the judge during a Brady motion, after she got done telling him I retracted my motion, she said, Your Honor, the family is threatening me on TikTok. You're throwing these accusations with no evidence, which shows animosity. How is Brad Hayward satisfied with this prosecutor that she has no animosity? How does that make any sense?
It doesn't make sense. And not only that, but she, in that Brady motion, she flat out lied to the judge. When the judge asked her, he said, it would be a problem if the children were coached prior to their forensic interview. And she stands up and tells the judge, she says, Your Honor, the only person that spoke to the children is the CAC, the Children Advocacy Center. Okay?
During a forensic interview. And we have those videos.
We know for a fact. By the way, Stephanie Buck is with her. Jason O'Sullivan is with her. The other guy's name, Mallet, the other prosecutor, he's with her. Now, you have a document today. Right now, you have a document that shows Sarah Sammy, Jason O'Sullivan, and Mallet met with a child. So, according to Sarah Sammy, only the CAC spoke to the children. Okay? Yeah, we have a document here. Let me pull it up on the screen. Okay? We have a document that says that Sarah Sammy and her fellow prosecutors, Jason O'Sullivan and Mallet, specifically met with the child.
Can I read this for you?
Please.
All right. So, entered on March 18, 2024, 1:31
And I'll remind everybody, this document is sealed. So when she tells the judge, when she says, Your Honor, no one met with the children other than the CAC, the Children Advocacy Center, which are psychiatrists who are trained to deal with minors. Okay? Now, this is sealed. Was sealed, supposed to be sealed. So, once again, when she proffers, when she lies in court, usually you can't check her in real time. Okay? But this time we can. Thanks to you stealing the file and unsealing it, now we can check her in real time. She told Judge Weimer.
On the record.
On the record.
During a Brady motion.
I mean,
she's telling him that the only time the children were spoken to is in a forensic interview. But here I have a document
So will Judge Weimer allow her to lie and keep protecting her?
Forget Judge Weimer. Mustafa's defense attorney, Brad Hayward, why is he letting this prosecutor lie in court? Shouldn't you put this in a motion and put it in front of Judge Weimer and tell him this prosecutor lied during a Brady motion? I have a document. By the way, this document is not the only thing I have.
This is not the only document.
I have you
have a body cam of Davis.
Exactly.
Calling Kylie, who's a minor. He has her on speed dial. And as soon as he's done with the phone call, he turns around and calls Sarah Sammy to update her on what he's doing.
But she wants to tell Judge Weimer the only time the children were spoken to is in a forensic interview.
And she specifically says to Judge Weimer, on the record, she says, I'm not aware of anybody speaking to the children. I'm not aware that there was any conversation outside of the CAC with the children, with
and then
the minors.
She tells him, I'm going to go find out, Your Honor.
I'm going to go find out.
I'm going to go find out if the children were spoken to.
How about this?
Wait a minute.
We will find out for you, and there is your document.
I mean,
we did the research for you.
The disturbing part is that Prosecutor Sarah Sammy is saying this to Judge Weimer. Right next to her is Stephanie Buck, another prosecutor on this case.
They all know.
They both met with 16-year-old Kylie. I mean, I have a document right here in front of me. On March 18, 2024, at 1:31 p.m., this was entered on that date. On March 15, 2024, ACA, Mallet, Sammy, and myself arranged a follow-up meeting with Kylie Clapp, the
a witness, an alleged witness, by the way. So exculpatory evidence. This is all Brady material. All of this is Brady. Anytime the witness makes a statement, that's exculpatory evidence. The defendant has the right to know what the witness has said and if they contradicted a previous statement. I mean, that's the whole reason why Mustafa is entitled to what the witnesses say. Because if they contradict their story, then they're lying. That's exculpatory evidence. That impeaches their character.
Where is the body cam from this meeting? You're telling me you're meeting a child without body cams?
Forget the body cam. Where is the narrative from this meeting? There's no narrative.
It's not there.
There's nothing. I mean, for all we know, Sarah Sammy, Jason O'Sullivan, and Stephanie Buck called this minor to coach her on what to say during trial. Because if you remember correctly, trial was about to come up. So they're prepping the child for trial. Imagine that. She tells the judge that no one coached the children. No one prepped the children before an interview. Yet here she is on a document prepping a child for trial and teaching her on what to say.
Now, this was okay, so let me continue.
I mean, that's crazy. You have a prosecutor who's handing over sealed material to a minor, and you have the defendant, the person who's accused of a crime, not allowed to read anything? Isn't that crazy?
How is he supposed to prepare for his defense? I mean, he sits in jail without a bond.
It's unbelievable.
And he's being kept out of the whole entire discovery. And they tell you, we're not sealing it from Mustafa. Wait a minute. How is Mustafa supposed to go through his body cam? How is Mustafa supposed to go through these documents? How is he supposed to prepare a defense?
He's not allowed to. That's the bottom line. He's not in Prince William County. You don't have due process. They put you in solitary. They hold you in jail, by the way. They hold you in jail so that you can't form a defense. You're being held in jail so that you cannot form a defense. And that's the strategy. It's not about reaching the truth. It's not about uncovering facts. No, it's all about playing games. They're playing this judicial system. Okay? They're playing it so that they can get the upper hand. And when they lie, you can't check them in real time. I mean, who's going to check that Jason Nance didn't say that? We had to go out and meet up with Jason Nance and tell him, hey, did you know that Robert Drum is saying that you were in a car with Mustafa and Mustafa crashed it and he gave you traumatic brain injury? Jason Nance is like, what the fuck? I never said that. I never said that. Okay, I mean, you have a video of it. I never said that. Video. Okay, yep. So again, you held someone, you took away somebody's freedom because you lied. Because of that lie, you took away that man's freedom.
I mean, you know, I find the disturbing part about this document here. In court, she tells the judge that the children were only spoken during a forensic interview. But here, I have a document that she met up with this minor, this child. And there's no body cam. There is no. They don't even put in the discovery what they talked about. Now, what I find disturbing is this prosecutor has been lying about Kylie. She tells Judge Weimer, Your Honor, I have a witness that's going to come forward that Mustafa premeditated this murder. Wait a minute. The problem here is when I open the body cam, there's a body cam, a forensic interview. There is a forensic interview of Kylie. In the forensic interview, this forensic interview is sealed. Now, in the forensic interview, Kylie says, I never saw anything that I'm telling you. I never saw what I'm telling you. I never heard what I'm telling you.
She only met Mustafa once.
I mean, this is
She only met him once.
This is a child that's separated by CPS from her mother.
So she's not allowed to be in the apartment.
She's not allowed to be in the apartment. She lives with her dad. And then on body cam, she says anything that I'm telling. Basically, she's making lies about Mustafa. And she says anything that I'm telling you, I didn't see it.
I didn't see it.
Wait a minute. You've been telling the judge for 2.5 years that you have a witness that Mustafa premeditated, but your witness on a body cam that you sealed, prosecutor, says, I didn't see anything. Is that why you sealed this file? Because by the way, this is a theme for all the witnesses. They bring in witnesses, bring in alleged witnesses, and then on body cam, you hear them say, I didn't see anything.
Look, when Sarah Sammy says, I'm not aware that anybody met with the minors other than the CAC, right? The psychiatrist or
the forensic interview.
Forensic psychologist.
Yeah.
Okay. That is recorded. That's a recorded interview. Then why is it that Javen, the 14-year-old, tells the psychologist, he specifically tells her, detectives told me Mustafa crashed the car, killed my mom, and left my sister to bleed to death. And if he hadn't fled the scene, my baby sister would have survived, but he left her to bleed to death. And the psychologist is saying, she says, Javen, how do you know this? He says, the detectives told me. So, therefore, we can all agree that Officer Romero specifically, who is praised up and down this discovery report, okay, with how he handled the children, okay, we know that he coached these kids and they lied to these kids. They lied and they told them that Mustafa intentionally crashed the car, killed your mom, and he fled the scene. That's what they're telling them, that Mustafa fled the scene. When we know for a fact that Mustafa was airlifted to the hospital. He was in a coma. And Chad Mason spoke to him. Robert Drum knows about it. Matthew Serdam, the whole police department knows he was airlifted to the hospital. So why is Romero, why is Drum, why are these officers telling the children that Mustafa fled the scene after intentionally crashing the car and killing your mom?
Let me play that body cam for you.
I mean, that is crazy.
I mean, this is disturbing.
So when Judge Weimer says, wouldn't you find it troubling if someone had coached these kids and told them, we need you to get this guy? It's much worse, Judge. It's a lot worse than you think. It's not about, they didn't tell these kids, we need you guys to get this man off the road. They didn't tell them that. No, they lied to them and told them, this guy just killed your mom. Okay? We need you to put him in prison forever.
He left your baby sister to bleed to death. And if he didn't run away, if Mustafa didn't, they're telling a child.
And by the way, what is
a 14-year-old?
What does the child say? He says, Mom always told me to trust Mustafa.
I always trusted Mustafa. That's what the child.
Mustafa. So he always trusted Mustafa until Romero told him, Mustafa just killed your mom and fled the scene.
Forget what the child just said. There's a Google Nest videos. There's a Google Nest videos inside the apartment, days on days, that shows this child loves Mustafa.
But this goes back to Sarah Sammy and how she lied to the judge to his face. She lied to the courts, and we can't say, oh, she wasn't there. She doesn't know if the police met with them. There's a document where she's meeting with the minor. There's a body cam where Rob Davis is literally calling her after he speed dials Kylie, the minor.
The real question is, Mustafa's defense, Mustafa's attorney, Brad Haywood, why isn't he holding her accountable for lying to the judge? I mean,
that's a very good
Mustafa's
question.
defense attorney, Brad Haywood. Nothing against Brad Haywood. By the way, I have a great relationship with Brad Haywood. But I'm looking at key material coming out of this case, and this defense attorney is going soft on the prosecutor.
This is the material facts of the case. This is what the entire case is built on. The whole case is built on a bunch of kids that were weaponized against Mustafa, an officer who played with his dash camera, okay? Robert Drum, who destroyed Mustafa's vehicle, okay? And now they want to say you were arguing in the car. There's no argument in the car. Clearly, there's no argument. The dash cam does have audio, but they're hiding it so that they can say, well, we say you were arguing. We got a lip
By
reader.
the way, they're terrified because that's coming out. Now there's on a table, the judge ordered the extraction of the SD card. And now they're terrified.
He ordered that back in September. So the real question is,
what are we waiting for?
If Chad Mason can take the dash cam, plug it into his laptop in his vehicle, and extract the files, why is it taking so long?
It takes you 10 minutes to download an SD card off of a dash camera. The police department has it. They've had it for 2.5 years.
And the government already paid for it.
The government already paid for it. They paid for Mustafa's defense attorney to hire an independent expert to go in and download the SD card.
So what's taking so long?
What's taking so long?
Or why is it being sealed by Judge Weimer? Because hold on a second. According to Judge Weimer, he specifically said during the Brady motion, he says, we have to update the protective order to ensure that the family does not get their hands on the SD card audio that's about to be extracted.
Why are you sealing it from the family? Wait a minute. Wait.
So
the prosecutor for 2.5 years have been arguing and telling this community, it's all over the news, that Mustafa was arguing with his girlfriend, but we have a dash camera that has no audio.
And they brought in Bruce Sabinsky.
And they brought in a lip reader, and they brought themselves a bullshit lip reader to lip read that Mustafa. By the way, the lip reader is not saying that Mustafa is arguing.
He's not even saying there's an argument.
Okay, he says at one point, Dorsey said, I want to get out of the car.
Dorothy appears to say, I want to get out of the car.
Okay, look, you know what's really funny about what the lip reader is saying? If you rewind the dash camera like literally 30 seconds, you see that Mustafa and Dorothy are passing back and forth a cigarette. If you forward this dash camera, literally 30 seconds, you see Mustafa and Dorsey are passing back and forth a cigarette. They're passing a cigarette like 6 times.
Why are they not talking about the cigarette?
They're terrified.
The lip reader doesn't seem to acknowledge that there's a cigarette back and forth.
Because they did a toxicology on Mustafa. They did a toxicology on Dorothy. And Dorothy and Mustafa, blood alcohol, 0. No alcohol and no drugs in Mustafa's system. Look, Dorothy has cancer and she's smoking hemp. And on dash camera, it shows that she's passing back and forth hemp with Mustafa. So you seal off the dash camera. You cut this dash camera. You mute this dash camera. You hire yourself a lip reader. You cut this dash camera where it doesn't show where Mustafa and Dorsey are passing back and forth a hemp cigarette, only to bring yourself a lip reader and says, Dorsey says, my lip reader is telling you that Dorsey says, I want to get out of the car. What the fuck are we talking about? And then you open the case file. You find out that digital forensic says, we have the audio.
They have the audio.
It's been 2.5 years. Finally, there's a judge order to hire an independent expert to go in and inspect and download the metadata off the SD card.
You know what I find funny is as soon as the judge ordered the SD card from the dash cam get examined, the prosecutor all of a sudden came in and says, well, I want to bring in my expert too. I want to bring in my expert to also take a look at this dash cam.
Wait a minute. For 2.5 years, you've been saying there is no audio. You've been hiding that document inside the case file that your digital forensic
2.5 years
admit that there is audio. Now you want to throw your lip reader out the window.
She also,
you want to throw him under the bus.
She also went to the media.
I want to get an independent expert. Look, I want to download this SD card.
She also went to the media. She went as far as going to the media and publishing that this dash cam has no audio.
Oh, that's right.
Because they felt at the time, Judge Weimer was protecting her. The judge wasn't going to grant this order to examine the SD card. They had it was an open and shut case. No audio. No audio. That's what they told us. No audio. And now all of a sudden, Judge Weimer is saying, when we get the audio, we have to make sure the family doesn't get it.
What do you mean?
By the way, is he really talking about the family or is he talking about Mustafa?
Wait a minute. Hold on now. You're terrified that the family is going to get it? Wait a minute. If the family gets it, You're claiming that the family is going to release the sealed material. Wait a minute.
Wouldn't that support their narrative?
Wouldn't that support your narrative, the prosecutor narrative? I mean, you already made this case public. You told the community that they're arguing. You got yourself a lip reader and you said, I have a lip reader. What do you mean? What does that mean right now? Like, what do you mean you're putting a protective order against the family? Oh, wait a minute. The audio is going to come out.
It's not even about the audio.
It's going to show that there is no argument inside the car. Now you're terrified that the family is going to release it and is going to hold you accountable.
It's not even about the audio.
It's going to show that the county has been lying for 2.5 years.
It's not even about the audio. He doesn't want anybody to find out that there is audio, that they got the audio, and that there is no fucking argument.
I mean, here is my problem with Mustafa's defense attorney right now, the lawyer, Brad Haywood. You have a judge order to hire an independent expert and download the audio. And the government gave you money to hire an independent expert.
And he did.
Investa. He hired Investa.
So where is
and the county
audio?
has hired Doug. They hired the prosecutor, Sarah Sammy, went to this individual, and they hired their independent expert, and Mustafa's defense attorney hired his independent expert. Why is it when Mustafa calls his lawyer, he doesn't give him an answer? He doesn't tell him, did we go in and download the audio? Are we schedule it next week, in 3 weeks, in a month? Why are you not being straightforward with your client? Now, I call him. He's not giving me an answer. He's telling me that, wait a minute, we're going to rely on Doug, the prosecutor independent expert. Wait a minute. Hold on now. I thought you told the judge and the government gave you money to hire Investa, your own independent expert. And then just when he got done, he's telling me, we don't want the same investigators that falsified this case, Robert Drum and Investigator Davis, to influence this independent expert in any way. So I'm going to make sure,
they did Stephen Keen,
like what they did when Stephen Keen, the independent expert, when he was reconstructing Mustafa's vehicle 2.5 years ago, and he said we have to make sure and have things in place that these investigators not there, so they don't influence Doug, the independent expert. And I'm like, great, you're already thinking ahead. Mustafa's defense attorney is already thinking ahead. I didn't even have to tell him. And then I asked him, wait a minute, Brad, what about your independent expert? How could you trust the prosecutor independent expert? Where is your independent expert? Didn't the government give you money to hire your independent expert? I mean, why are you relying on a prosecutor that's been lying, who she's hiring her independent expert that 100% has a bias?
Obviously.
Where is your independent expert? He's like, oh, I think he already went in. Oh, wait. I got to check my email. Wait a minute. Are you telling me that your independent expert went in by himself without you being there, without having you safeguard the investigators that may be influenced? And
weren't they all arguing about who's going to be there?
I don't understand. In court, they were arguing. They're like, we all have to be there. The chain of custody for the SD card, we all want to be there. Why are you bullshitting me? You just gave me two different answers in the same conversation. And
just remember, he was instructed not to tell the family what the findings are.
Forget the family. Forget me. Why are you not telling your client, Mustafa? Why are you not updating your client?
Why are you putting your client in the dark? Why are you keeping your client in the dark?
And you ask him to trust you? How could he trust you when you keep him in the fucking dark? I mean, these are valid questions.
Are you working with the prosecutors?
I mean, here's the problem. You're pushing us to think that you're working with a prosecutor. We don't want to think that. And we're doing our best to avoid that you're just another Casey Stephen, that you're another Blake Weiner, that you're a lawyer that's working for the prosecutor. We're doing our best. We have a really good relationship with Brad Haywood. And Mustafa has a great relationship with Brad Haywood, but you're pushing us to
this process,
think that you're working with a prosecutor.
This process.
Why are you keeping your client in the fucking dark?
This process where the judge is sealing off material information in this case. You've already come to the media. You've already went to the public and you've said there's no audio in this dash camera. And now you want to seal off what findings come forward. We know for a fact Chad Mason tampered with that dash camera.
I mean, he already admitted to it.
He was reprimanded for it. Okay, he was reprimanded for it, for violating chain of custody, for taking a dash cam without a warrant and tampering with the files.
That's what he admitted for. He admitted on the record that he violated the chain of custody. He violated the department policy. He took possession of the dash camera, went back to his car, downloaded the files. 2 days later, notified the Commonwealth attorney. So prosecutor Sarah Sammy can't say that she didn't know that he violated department policy, chain of custody. 2 days later, decided to get a warrant. What are we talking about? Well, today we have a dash camera that has no audio. It's cut before impact, has 17 frames missing from inside of the vehicle. And they want to have a conversation about, well, let's look at Mustafa's reaction. You fucking took 17 frames from Mustafa's reaction while the camera outside is still rolling. What are you talking about?
By the way, I'll just add digital forensics.
Do you see what I'm talking about
digital
here?
Digital forensics said there is audio.
There you go.
So why didn't Sarah Sammy...
So they can't come out and say there's no audio now.
Why didn't she probe into this dash cam issue? Why,
2.5 years ago.
2.5 years ago. Why did she not probe in? When we look at body cam of Robert Drum, he's talking to Rexing, the dash cam company. Not once in a 10-minute conversation does he mention, oh, hey, by the way, I'm missing the audio from this dash. Not once. I mean, I'm looking at 809 pages of discovery, and not a single page says there is no audio. Not a single page. Matter of fact, I have a letter from Zymus, Kathy Zymus of Digital Forensics with the Prince William County Police, who took this dash camera and analyzed it, and she says there is audio. So how could you come to the public and tell the community there's no audio to this dash camera? How could you do that? And then for the judge today to come out and say, if there is audio, when they do get the audio, we're not going to tell the community.
We're going to seal it from the family.
We're not going to be transparent. We're not going to inform the public of our lies, of our mistake. You fucked up. You fucked up. You lied to the community. And I think now it's time for you to face the consequences.
Shouldn't Mustafa's attorney fight the protective order?
100%. Why is there a protective order to begin with?
Why is Mustafa's defense attorney, Brad Hayward, not saying, why is there a protective order on my client's dash camera?
Look, the real reason why there's a protective order is because there are so many lies, there are so many tampering of evidence, tampering with witnesses, abuse of children being done by the police, and the prosecutors know it. That's why the prosecutor went to a judge and she says, Your Honor, I want this case file sealed because if somebody's going to dig into this, they're going to find out that there's no case here. This whole thing is built on lies. Okay? I mean, look, just take a look at Mustafa's car. Okay? Look at his vehicle and what they've done to it. Okay? If you look at that car and you look at what it looks like today at the police impound, by the way, which they have an obligation to preserve evidence. I just read the law, Brady versus Maryland. By law, when there is a fatality in a motor vehicle accident, by law, you have to preserve the vehicle as is.
So evidence showed that the police department crushed and staged Mustafa's vehicle.
As is, by the way. Look, the only time they're allowed to cut any piece of the car is when they're extracting someone, when someone's life is in danger. However, you have photos at the impound where they're chopping away at the vehicle, which they have an obligation by law. By law, that's exculpatory evidence. The vehicle is exculpatory evidence. And they fucking destroyed it. They destroyed it. For no reason, by the way. There's no good reason why they've destroyed it. You have a video. You have a video today.
We're going to go over the video. We were, me and you were at the junkyard.
We went to the junkyard today.
We went to the junkyard. We found the same exact vehicle that Mustafa drove. And
I mean, this shit is like so infuriating. Well, it boils your blood.
I get more upset when I talk to Mustafa's defense attorney and I tell him, Brad, evidence show in this case that they crushed and staged Mustafa's vehicle. You know what he tells me? We'll let the jury know during trial. What the fuck are you talking about? This is a motion to dismiss.
I mean, the most crucial piece of evidence, the most crucial piece of exculpatory evidence, especially when at the hospital, Mustafa says, I hit the brake and the car doesn't stop. What do they do next? They go destroy the car. By the way, even if Mustafa didn't say there was something wrong with my car, the fact that there is a fatality in this vehicle puts an obligation on the police department to preserve it as is. The way it is, it should have been preserved because it is exculpatory evidence, and it's to rule out any of this, oh, we did that. No, it's like this because we did it. Well, why the fuck did you do it? Okay, why did you do it? Why did you crush his car? Why did you crush his car? There is no good answer. There's not an answer in the world.
They tell you
that can answer that.
They tell you, and we're going to take a deep dive.
Nothing justifies it.
There's a body cam in the case file that Investigator Davis and Investigator Robert Drum on body cam, on suits of our body cam, they say the reason that we cut the roof, crushed his front passenger side, his girlfriend's side. They put hydraulic. They said we put hydraulic on the B-pillar. We crushed and to roll the vehicle forward so we can get the ACM, the computer inside the vehicle. Wait a minute. I have pictures of the vehicle at the scene after the accident, and it shows that the vehicle is not... Yeah, do me a favor if you can pull it up. It shows that the vehicle is not caved in.
And there's nobody in that car, by the way. You can zoom in. There's no one in that car.
Everybody has been extracted before by bystanders.
It's nighttime.
Bystander extracted everybody. So, I mean...
Actually, you have a picture of the car at the police impound.
This is a picture of the vehicle at the scene after the accident. And then you zoom in. I mean, here, this is... So the ACM, the computer inside the vehicle that they're talking about, is right here. If you zoom in, it's right under the shifter.
And by the way, do you see the steering wheel?
Right there.
Do you see the steering wheel caved in? I don't think so. Do you see the dash out of place? I see a perfectly aligned dash. There's a lot of space between the seat and the steering wheel. Nothing has hit that car from the front.
Now tell me why inside the police department, this is Mustafa's vehicle.
This is Mustafa. Once again, this is at the police impound.
The roof is intact. The vehicle is intact. Okay.
Look at the front end. No damage to the front.
This is not a head-on collision. Okay. All right. So this is the vehicle.
Zoom in again. Okay, zoom in on that. Look at that.
You can let me zoom in. There you go. And then you can. I'm gonna circle right here. This is where the ACM is. To access the ACM inside the vehicle, the box is right there. You can zoom in.
I mean, the car is literally perfectly intact on the interior.
So why are they rolling the vehicle forward, crushing Mustafa's passenger? I mean, that's what they're saying on body cam. The reason this is the vehicle. Why are they doing this to the vehicle?
It doesn't justify it.
I mean, the fire.
Nothing justifies what that car is going to look like afterwards.
Investigator Davis and Investigator Robert Drum on body cam say we had the fire department cut the roof for us, roll the vehicle forward, and in the process,
at the driver fender.
Absolutely,
they crushed the B pillar.
What the fuck is this? What the fuck are they doing here? Why? Why are you fucking doing this to the car? Their excuse is to get to the ACM. Now, I want to listen to the body cam of Investigator Davis.
And by the way, they tried to play it off as the car looks like that because we were extracting everybody. That's what they told Casey
originally,
Stevens. Or that's what Casey Stevens told us.
Mustafa's first defense attorney was telling us.
He says this is due to extraction. I said the car didn't look like that.
What extraction? This is the picture at the scene.
At the scene.
I mean, they've already extracted everybody. I mean, no one is in the vehicle. You're crushing it and you're cutting it inside the police department. And your reason... Okay, well, let's listen to Investigator Davis. And he wants to tell us why they cut the roof. They had the fire department cut the roof, roll the vehicle forward, crush his front passenger, Dorothy's portion in the process. Let's hear what his reasoning is.
And Drum's been with... the crash investigation unit for 20 years. Is that right?
19 years.
19 years. What's his name? Chad Mason has been there for 14 years. You have Davis, who's also been there for many years.
I mean,
collectively, they probably have like over 300 years of experience.
These fucking vampires. I mean, obviously they have the experience. They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing.
So let's hear what Investigator Davis tells us why the vehicle is crushed.
Let's listen to Rob Davis. Rob Davis.
We also, well, the other thing too that I forgot to tell you, we put this could have taken this into account. The fire department cut the top off for us. They also rolled the steering wheel forward so we could get the box out. So they had their big hydraulic, thing set up right, like where the B pillar would be, pushing the front forward. So I guess that could that have caused the lengthening of the car per se?
Absolutely.
Okay. I actually didn't even think about that until just now. When they rolled out that forward, that would have pushed. Yeah, because I'll show you what they did. They cut here on both of them, and then put their machine here, and then pushed the whole front forward to get this out of the way so that we could get the box out.
Okay, yeah, that could have made the length longer.
Yeah. What was that?
That's because of that.
Yeah, but that could have pushed all that. That could have made the length of the car longer, made that drivetrain fall out too. And it caused that to push forward.
All right.
It could have done this. It could have done that because we did this and we did that. You have an obligation.
But that could have.
You have an obligation to preserve the vehicle, especially when there's a fatality. Because of Brady versus Maryland, the vehicle is exculpatory evidence. The entire vehicle. You have an obligation to preserve it. What day did they fucking crush the car?
April 13, 2023.
April 13th. So rather than send this car to inspection, by the way, they didn't even get a warrant.
That's right. When you go through the file, the warrant, there is no warrant.
They didn't get a warrant to chop up the vehicle.
How did you get the ACM? How did you chop up the vehicle? You don't have a warrant to get the ACM, the box inside the vehicle?
There is a warrant in the system. It's not signed. It's not dated. And
so wait a minute.
As a matter of fact, Robert Drum falsifies his affidavit on it.
So hold on now. So you go crush the vehicle, stage it, get the ACM, and then decide later, let's put this document in there.
Let's inspect it after we crush it.
The warrant is not signed. They put that document later.
Pull up the warrant.
Do you see what I'm talking about?
Let's pull up the warrant and let's take a look at what Robert Drum says on the warrant. Is that it?
This is it. Do you know which number?
Okay, that's the first page. Let's go through this warrant and let's see what Robert Drum writes on this warrant. And by the way, Robert Drum did not make contact with Mustafa on the scene. Robert Drum never spoke to Mustafa until April 7th on that phone call. That's the only time he made contact with Mustafa.
I have a body cam where he never talked to Mustafa on the scene, but he's putting in a...
he showed up after the fact.
He says that he talked to Mustafa on the scene, and he has a whole entire page.
There's a whole narrative.
There's a whole narrative. But on body cam, when you look at his body cam,
he lied.
He not once talked to Mustafa.
He lied.
Mustafa was put on a stretcher and put into an ambulance. He never made contact with Mustafa.
And then he was helicoptered. He never made contact. The only person that made contact with Mustafa was Chad Mason. Okay, and he spoke to him, for maybe 10 seconds? And as soon as he got that 10 seconds, he goes to Drum. He says, I got it on camera. I got
what on camera? Mustafa's telling you he doesn't even know where he's at. The off-duty paramedic says Mustafa thinks he's in 2021.
He had a concussion.
He's dealing with a concussion. Obama is the president. It's 2021, and he doesn't even know where he's at. And the off-duty paramedic is telling you he's having a concussion.
By the way, look at the bottom. Look at the bottom of that.
You know what Robert Drum says? Look, when you read the warrant, he said Robert Drum says the fact that he thinks he's in 2021 and Obama is the president, he's on drugs.
He's on drugs.
What are you talking about? Don't we have Mustafa's toxicology that shows no alcohol and no drugs?
Well, he lied about that because in the report he says Mustafa's blood would show drugs and alcohol. That's what he says in the warrant. That's what he says in his affidavit. And now we have Mustafa's blood record, and it shows no alcohol, no drugs. So how can an officer falsify this much? And for the prosecutor to say, "Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know." When the lawyer asks her, he says, "Would you not agree that this is like what the officers are doing is very questionable?" She says, "Oh, yeah, it's very questionable." Well, get the fuck out of here, bitch. You're fucking talking to them every day. They're updating you as they go. As they go. Every page, every police report says,
"Yep,
the Commonwealth attorney, Sarah Sammy, has been updated and notified and advised every step of the fucking way. Every step of the way. She's been advised and notified of everything they're doing. And matter of fact, she's instructing them on what to do next."
She's terrified that her communication is going to get released. One of the Brady point that Mustafa's defense wanted was her communication. And Judge Weimer says, "I'm denying the release of her communication." What's so terrifying?
He's protecting her.
What's so terrifying about releasing the prosecutor's communication when you have this level of falsifying this case? I mean,
it's not the first time this judge has not only protected a lying prosecutor, but practiced law from the bench. You know, when he offers to the prosecutor, when he offers to the court that, "Hey, I think we should seal the SD card from the family." Specifically this verbiage, "seal the SD card findings from the family." You are a judge. You're supposed to be impartial. You're supposed to observe what's going on, and you're supposed to rule based on the law.
Look, I go back.
For you to offer a new protective order against the family, you are no longer a judge. You are a prosecutor.
Look, I go back and ask, why is Mustafa's defense attorney not fighting off this protective order? Why is this defense attorney not putting all these points in a motion? I mean, prosecutor Sarah Sammy flat out lied about everything in court on the record. And we have a file.
Honestly, this judge should be thrown off the case.
You know, I'll tell you right now.
Because I think he was blackmailed back in April of 2024 when he gave Mustafa a $5,000 bond, and then a week later reversed it.
Look,
would not say why he's reversing it.
This is my logic. Let's ride the horse until that horse tells us it is a donkey.
And by the way,
does that make sense?
By the way,
listen to the logic.
Let me tell you.
Did you hear what I just threw at you? Ride the horse until that horse tells you I'm a donkey.
Okay, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something that's very, very questionable at the moment for me. I remember sitting in a courtroom where Blake Weiner stood in court right before trial, and he said, "Your Honor, I am requesting from the government $5,000 for the psychiatrist that I'm bringing to testify for Mustafa. And the psychiatrist fee is $5,000 for the entire trial. And I'm asking for simply $5,000 fee for my psychiatrist that goes by the name of Speckard."
Dr. Specker, that's right.
Judge Weimer tells the attorney, he says, "I'm not giving $5,000 to that psychiatrist."
Well, originally he gave him $5,000.
No. He says, "I'll give $5,000, but you're not using it for that psychiatrist."
Exactly.
You can get a different psychiatrist.
Exactly.
I mean, hold on a second.
Yep.
Why is the judge objecting to by the way, a phenomenal psychiatrist? She has an 84-page CV. Okay.
She's been doing it for a long time.
She's been doing it for a very long. This is a very experienced psychiatrist. Okay, with a very good background. Okay, very knowledgeable. A good expert. Okay, and she's already written a affidavit.
Well, I wonder what she wrote. I wonder what she wrote about Mustafa that Judge Weimer didn't like.
Well, I mean, it's in the verbiage. It's very clear. She analyzed the dash camera. She analyzed this whole entire case, and she basically says Mustafa's actions are consistent with someone trying to avoid a vehicle accident, someone who is being put in a traumatic situation, and he's trying to avoid it. And
That's exactly
and Judge Weimer reads that and he says, no, we can't use the psychiatrist.
Well, I find it interesting that today Judge Weimer wants that psychologist.
How much did he give the psychiatrist?
$18,000.
$18,000 to the same psychiatrist that last year you denied $5,000 to. What's going on? All of a sudden, now you're giving $18,000 when just the other day you. By the way,
I'm glad that you brought that up. I want to talk about that. Yeah.
By the way, the prosecutor didn't object. The judge objected to the $5,000. The judge objected to this psychiatrist. He said, not this one. No. You can get any psychiatrist for $5,000, but you're not getting this one.
So now they put $18,000. They give it to this psychiatrist, and they want her to sit down with Mustafa and write her evaluation. Okay, that's odd. Just the other day, you didn't want the psychiatrist.
Just the other day, she was getting ready to go into trial.
Wait a minute. Exactly. Our problem with Blake Weiner, Mustafa's previous defense attorney, is that we told Mustafa was getting ready to be walked into trial. This was back in December. And Mustafa would tell his attorney, I need my vehicle reconstructed. I need the extraction of my dash camera because digital forensics says they have the audio. And this investigator is talking about tampering with the dash camera.
Robert Drum also said there's audio. He told Casey Stevens that he figured out the audio.
Exactly. Now, Blake Weiner said, if that's what you want, I'm going to have to withdraw from the case.
If you're going after the dash cam audio, I'm off the case.
I mean, how does that make any sense? Mustafa didn't fire Blake Weiner.
No, he left.
He left because if that's what you want...
But what did he tell the judge? He said, Your Honor, the relationship has corroded.
Corroded? For Mustafa asking you for the most basic thing in this whole entire case?
Listen, that's the excuse that a lawyer would use when he wants to...
Well, I find it interesting that today the government is pumping $100,000 into this case. They have money for an independent expert to download the SD cards. They have money to have an independent expert to reconstruct the vehicle. Okay. And now they have $18,000 for Dr. Specker, who just the other day, Judge Weimer says, I don't want. He refused her to be on the case. And what is coming out of the conversation today? Wait a minute. Mustafa is kept in the dark when his SD card is coming out. Mustafa's defense attorney, Mustafa's not being told, forget me, forget the family. You don't have to worry about the family. Why are you keeping your client, and this is for Brad Hayward, Mustafa's defense attorney, why is your client kept in the dark when his extraction for the SD card, when is it going to come out? When is his vehicle going to get reconstructed? Instead, you're prioritizing the psychiatrist. You want the psychiatrist to sit down with Mustafa. You're leaving me no choice but to think that you're working for the prosecutor. What does this prosecutor want?
Let me add to your point. Do you
see what I'm talking about here?
I remember a body cam. I remember a body cam.
I can't, but look at this.
Look.
This is weird.
I remember a body cam.
You're not interested in the audio. You're not interested in the reconstruction of the accident. You want this psychiatrist to sit down with Mustafa to do what exactly? You want to mark him off, write him off as crazy? Is that what you want?
Look.
Does that make sense? Mustafa, what does Mustafa tell his defense attorney? This is what Mustafa says. I want to sit down with the psychiatrist, but before I sit down with the psychiatrist, I want her to take a look at everything that's in this case. I want my audio to come out that there is no argument inside the car. They cut my dash camera. The officer admitted to cutting my dash camera. They're gonna extract my audio before I sit down with the psychiatrist, and I want this extraction on the table. I want my vehicle reconstructed so she can see that this is a car accident. Instead, Mustafa is kept in the dark. They're not telling him when the reconstruction is going to happen. They're not telling him when the audio extraction is going to come out. No, Mustafa, we want you to sit down with the psychiatrist. And you want Mustafa to trust you? How the fuck is he going to trust you when you're bringing him a psychiatrist before you come out with the most crucial piece of evidence? There's a fucking judge order to reconstruct the vehicle. There's a judge order to extract the audio. The government gave you money. Why are you keeping your client in the dark? Are you making a deal with the prosecutor?
Let me add something
I don't want to think. I don't want to put you in that bracket. I don't want to jump to the conclusion that you're doing that. But I can't explain it to Mustafa.
Let me add something to the psychiatrist. There's specifically a body cam where Casey Stevens and Robert Drum are conspiring together. By the way, Mustafa's former attorney and the investigator who lied are conspiring to bring in a psychiatrist to write Mustafa off. Okay? I mean, this is your own defense attorney on body cam. Conspiring with the lying.
I'm going to pull that body cam for you.
Look, conspiring. So when Mustafa says, I mean, this is bringing back memories from a previous situation, and this is why I question it, is because this has happened in the past. Casey Stevens, I remember when he said after Mustafa was beaten up inside the jail, he says, we need to have him medically, psychologically evaluated, right? He says, I need $2,500 for a psychiatrist to go in and evaluate him. And I said, okay, that's fine. We're going to get you a psychiatrist. He said, no. You're not going to pick a psychiatrist. I'm going to pick someone that I know, someone that I'm working with. Well, good thing we didn't give him the option to choose, because apparently at the time he was conspiring with Robert Drum.
What is the one thing that Prosecutor Sarah Sammy wanted and she told Judge Weimer? Your Honor, we need the evaluation.
And that was after Casey Stevens withdrew.
We need the psychiatry evaluation.
Casey Stevens withdrew, and she was trying to force a psych evaluation while Mustafa did not have an attorney. And Judge Weimer, I mean, to his credit, he said, we're holding off on whatever you want to do.
This is what's happening. And I don't know if Brad Haywood is aware of it, or, I mean, this whole podcast is to, it's not to attack Brad Haywood. Obviously, I have a great relationship with Brad Haywood. Mustafa has a great relationship with Brad Haywood. We're so happy that he's on the case. Finally, we have an honest lawyer. And I mean, 2.5 years, we've never had a lawyer that took what we talk about. I mean, what I talk about is based on the body cams. I'm looking at the body cams. I'm looking at documents. When I get on here, I have the file.
This is not an opinion.
Do you see what I'm talking about? I mean, finally, you have a lawyer that's actually being honest about Mustafa's case. The purpose of this podcast is to tell this lawyer they're playing games with Mustafa. In what sense how does it make sense? I mean, this is what Prosecutor Sarah Sammy wants. This is what they want. They know the audio is going to come out. They know the extraction. And this extraction, the audio for the dash camera is going to come out. The full dash camera is going to come out. And it's going to exonerate Mustafa. I mean, we have the dash camera without the audio, and it shows there's no argument inside.
The whole case is built.
They're literally passing a cigarette.
It's built on this whole dash cam, no audio issue.
Digital forensic, admit there's audio. Now there's a judge order and there's money on the table by the government. The audio is going to come out. They know that. The prosecutor, Sarah Sammy, knows that. When you reconstruct the vehicle, there's a judge order to reconstruct the vehicle. Money's on the table to reconstruct. They know the vehicle is going to get reconstructed. It's going to show that Mustafa did everything.
Angle will prove it.
Did everything he can to avoid a car accident. The steering angle is going to prove it.
It's going to prove it.
So they know exonerating evidence is going to come out. What are they doing here? They bring in a psychologist, a psychiatrist. They want to rubber stamp that Mustafa has a mental problem. So that way, when the evidence comes out, it doesn't even matter anymore. It
doesn't matter. It's what's in
Your
his
Honor,
head.
this Mustafa is crazy. Do you see what they're doing here? I mean, do me a favor. Go over to exhibit. I'm going to pull a body cam where Mustafa's first defense attorney, Casey Stevens, who on body cam, I have body cams where he's working with Robert Drum, has a relationship with Robert Drum, has a history with Robert Drum. The investigator that falsified Mustafa's statements. This is Casey Stevens.
And he withheld evidence.
On body cam, he says Mustafa is guilty. You're his defense attorney. You took over $50,000
to take on this case.
To take on his case. And now on body cam, I catch you saying Mustafa is guilty. You're conspiring. Let's watch the body cam where he's working. He's telling that Robert Drum is telling Casey Stevens about how they want a psychiatrist to write him off as incompetent. I mean,
he says he appears to be fucked up. That's what he says.
Do me a favor. Go over to exhibit. I mean, if I didn't have this on body cam.
And by the way, before you play that, I'll say that's why Casey Stevens says you can't pick a psychiatrist. I'm going to get one because they want somebody that's going to come in and just sign on the dotted line, just like the medical examiner who falsified an entire medical examiner report.
Why is Mustafa's defense attorney, Brad Hayward, not talking about the autopsy that's been falsified?
A falsified autopsy report. I mean, that is crazy. If a medical examiner is willing to lie, that means anybody they bring in is willing to just like Bruce Stefanski, what was her name? Lucy Guerrero. Anybody that they bring in is just going to sign on the dotted line. What do you want me to sign? Okay, you want to say there's no audio? Sure, no audio. You want to say that there's nothing wrong with the car?
But according to Brad Hayward, Mustafa's defense attorney, he trusts the county's independent expert to extract the audio from SD card. He doesn't have to worry about his independent. How the fuck are you going to trust the county and their independent expert? What is going on here?
Trust comes with transparency. Okay? You can't have trust if you have no transparency. If you're getting the SD card with the audio, the dash cam with the audio, and you're not transparent about it, there's no trust. Okay? It's as if you didn't do shit.
You have to build that trust.
It's
and
as
you
if
have to build that trust with Mustafa.
If you're getting the car reconstructed, you have the steering angle, you have all this information, which your client is entitled to by law.
The most basic thing you can ask in this case.
By law, he's entitled to every fucking piece of evidence that you stole. He's entitled to it. Okay? And if a lawyer does not believe in his client, he should just fuck off. Let's be real.
If
you don't believe in your client,
I mean, that's honest.
If you don't believe in your client,
I mean, you can't be more honest than that. That's true.
If you don't believe,
the government is giving you $100,000
to do your work, to follow the law. We're asking for you to follow the law. Okay? And if you don't believe in your client 100%, then you fuck off somewhere. Go find a different hobby.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the bottom line.
Do me a favor, go over to exhibit. I want to play the body cam where the investigator, Robert Drum, that falsified...
I'm not saying that to Brad Haywood. I'm saying to any lawyer like Casey Stevens...
I know what you mean.
To any lawyer like Casey Stevens who goes around behind his client's back, and he's working a deal with the officer to put his client under, to not present evidence when you have it right there on your laptop. We know Casey Stevens had the evidence during bond, and he never presented it because he was making a deal with this fucked up lying investigator, which I don't know why Prince William County Police are still holding on to him. Honestly, I don't know why they're holding on to him, Chad Mason, people that are just giving this police department a bad rep.
I mean, the next time you call 911, you're going to get this investigator.
That's what you're going to get.
What
a fucking disgrace.
It's just sad. Do me a favor, go over to exhibit. Let me play this body cam. Let's see.
Honestly, I don't know who would hire Casey Stevens after hearing that. Who the fuck would hire Casey? And by the way, he charges like 50, 75 grand, 100 grand. He's like up
He charges $45,000 just up front.
And then behind your back, he takes your fucking money and then he splits it with the officer. He's buying him drinks and he's conspiring to screw over his client. I mean, what the fuck happened to the state bar? There's no bar. There's no bar of standards. There's no professional conduct. When Sarah Sammy lies and there's no consequence, when Casey Stevens takes your money and withholds evidence and conspires with the officer, you have no standards. When there's no system, you have complete anarchy. Okay? When there's no system, then it's complete anarchy. I mean, there's no rules. They're not abiding by any rules. And you can see that from this video. What a fucking piece of shit.
Here, Casey Stevens. Let's see.
What a piece of shit. Takes your money and conspires with the police.
First he tells Robert Drum, whatever you hear about lawyers against the police, it's all bullshit.
Well, he's a fucking drunk. Okay. What do you expect?
Do me a favor. Let me play it.
He's a drunk.
Mind you, this is the defense attorney that we're telling. We have evidence that investigator Robert Drum lied about Mustafa because Robert Drum put in the report that Mustafa told him that he was arguing with his girlfriend inside the vehicle. Now, we have an audio of the conversation that Mustafa never said that. This investigator falsified Mustafa's statement.
Casey Stevens goes...
Do you see what they're doing? They mute the dash camera. They cut the dash camera. They say, you told me you were arguing inside the vehicle. And then they're so upset that you happened to record that conversation at the time.
You know what's crazy? Casey Stevens at the time...
And then here he's telling him, whatever you hear about
Casey Stevens tells
lawyers against police, it's all a lie.
Casey Stevens
tells all bullshit.
He tells you, don't publish the audio because I want to get them. It's the element of surprise. When in reality, he's telling the prosecutor, he's telling the police, hey, the family has an audio of that conversation. What element of surprise when you're literally giving your defense strategy to the prosecution?
And then come court, he doesn't even play the audio. He plays the wrong person, misleading the judge to the point where the judge is like, what am I mean, that doesn't say anything.
Amar, the prosecutor...
He plays the wrong portion.
When he says the family recorded the audio, the conversation between Drum and Mustafa, the prosecutor's like, okay. And we're looking at Casey Stevens like, did you tell her? No, I didn't tell her. Get the fuck out of here. You're a fucking liar. He fucking specifically not only told her, he's giving her what the defense strategy is. There's no strategy, by the way. You have a prosecutor who's pretending to be a defense attorney. He's taking your money and he's splitting it with the prosecution. He literally gave Amy Ashworth $4,700.
How does I can't process that. I can't get my head around. Wait a minute. Amy Ashworth goes for election.
Amar, I need $10,000.
Wait.
Let me sell that to.
By the way,
Ashworth.
you can literally look that up. you can look up. He donated to the Commonwealth Attorney. Wait a minute. So you're a Republican. She's a Democrat. You're representing Mustafa. She's bringing a case against your client, and you turn around and donate $4,700. Hey, Omar, I need $10,000 more.
I need $5,000 for a crash reconstructionist.
And then he takes the fucking money and he gives it to the Commonwealth.
He takes your money.
Get the fuck out of here.
Your money and gives it to the Commonwealth attorney.
That's crazy.
He gives it to the prosecutor. I wonder how much he paid Drum, to be honest with you. I wonder how much he paid Drum.
Do me a favor, go over to exhibit. Let's watch this unicorn caught in real time.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Casey said not from the enemy.
What?
Casey said nothing from the enemy.
You have a beer.
Oh my God, yeah.
That must be just
because they know he's a drunk.
Just you,
Christian, you want something?
It's the same police officer
Hurts my
that pulled him
feelings.
over. Pulled him over in 2016
For
and
DUI.
For DUI.
Hit and run.
Hit and run.
Some of these defense lawyers think everybody's a fucking liar and all that sort of shit.
How's Moses doing?
I don't think he's doing very well.
No
How'd
shit.
that competency thing come back?
Haven't gotten it back yet. They're taking forever to get to it.
Wow.
The competency test. Oh, what do we want to do today? So
It's almost like listening to two prosecutors.
Yeah.
There's no defense attorney there.
The prosecutor's right behind him. You see that mallet right there?
The prosecutor, your lawyer, and the police are conspiring to
How we're going to write you off as incompetent. Oh, by the way, if you haven't watched this full body cam, literally 15 minutes earlier, by the way, this right here, what you're watching is the independent experts. This right here is the independent expert that I paid $5,000 and hired to reconstruct Mustafa's vehicle 2.5 years ago. There's a judge order to reconstruct the vehicle. 15 minutes ago, earlier, if you rewind the body cam, you'll hear the same investigator that falsified Mustafa's statement, Robert Drum, is telling the independent expert, Prosecutor Sarah Sammy says you cannot reconstruct this vehicle.
And what did this guy say, by the way, off the record? He said,
I've never seen anything like this.
he's never had a vehicle reconstruction where he's not allowed to inspect the car.
never showed up on a scene to reconstruct an accident, only to be told, by the way,
You're not allowed
you
to
can't touch the vehicle. How am I supposed to reconstruct it?
And by the way, he's not allowed to touch the vehicle that they chopped up.
That's crazy.
That they've already chopped up.
So
You've already chopped up the car.
So wait.
What are you preserving here exactly?
So the independent expert can't touch the car, but he can scan it.
He can scan the car that they've already chopped
Crushed.
up.
They removed the original scan, the Leica scan. You know how you scan the vehicle, Mustafa's vehicle, you scan the other vehicle, and you find the point of impact.
Right.
Okay? I mean, at one point he talks about how the county gave him the equipment, how he scanned the vehicle, how this is $1 million equipment. And where's the original scan? So you remove the original scan, you crush and stage the vehicle. Now we bring in our independent expert. Who told us to bring in an independent?
Casey Stevens.
Casey Stevens. Only to have it get scanned again after they crushed it.
After they crushed it.
And
Wow,
here, they're going to be talking about, hey, by the way, did you get to have a psychiatrist sit down with Mustafa? Can we write him off as
he's
incompetent?
literally going to tell him that Mustafa's fucked up.
So
A
you
lawyer.
block his reconstruction. You block the extraction of the SD cards from the dash camera. You chop up his dash camera. You chop up his car. And now you're gonna bring in a psychiatrist. Your own defense attorney is talking to the investigator who falsified your statement. How are we gonna write him off? Can we write him off? I mean,
By the way,
let me play it for you.
You wonder why Sarah Sammy sealed the body cams. It's because it's exposing their puppet, Casey Stevens.
I don't think Brad Haywood is really aware. I don't think Brad Haywood really is seeing this.
Listen to this.
I mean, do you see what I'm talking about? The reason there's so much pushback, and we're looking at Brad Haywood, the new defense attorney, we're like, Brad, we're already traumatized from this defense attorney, and now we're seeing the same,
listen
I mean,
to this.
I don't think Brad Haywood is not seeing the full picture here. The reason that we want the extraction, the reason that we want the reconstruction of the vehicle is because look at what they've already done.
You wonder why Sarah Sammy is sealing off these body cams, and it's because it's exposing their undercover prosecutor, Casey Stevens, who, by the way...
he used to be a prosecutor, by the way.
I know, but just think about it like this. Casey Stevens is what? Everybody says he's the top lawyer of Prince William County, right? That's what they say. He's the big bad wolf. If you have a case, he's going to get it done.
What do you mean? He'll feed you to the prosecutor on a silver platter.
He'll take your money and he'll split it with the prosecution. That's what he does. And that's why, by the way, Sarah Sammy seals off these body cams, because they're protecting their undercover prosecutor, Casey Stevens. They're protecting him. And then today, you want to ask Mustafa, why don't you have a trust for lawyers? I mean, just take a fucking look. $50,000 you paid. $50,000.
I think, I'll tell you.
You might as well have just pissed it away.
I'll tell you, with everything that you put Mustafa through. I mean, what is Mustafa telling his defense attorney, Brad Haywood? He's telling him, I want to sit down with the psychiatrist. I want to sit down with her. But can we prioritize what's supposed to come out of this case? Come out with the extraction.
By the
There's
way,
a judge order to extract. Since September. Where's my extraction for the SD card? Where's my dash camera?
Where's my audio?
Where's my audio? That's going to come out. That's going to exonerate me. Where's the reconstruction? That's going to exonerate me. And then I want this psychiatrist to see what's on the table.
Why is it so hard to get a steering angle? I mean, we're talking about two cars that collided. They both have computers. Why is it so hard to get the steering angle from each car? You have the speed. You have the brake pedal. You have the gas pedal. Why can't we get the steering angle?
The prosecutor, this should be an open and shut case for the prosecutor.
Exactly.
All you have to do is come out with a steering angle and show where Mustafa is doing this on purpose.
Well, according to Drum, Mustafa turned right and slammed his car into the SUV. So where the fuck is the steering angle where he turns right? I want to see it.
I'm going to come back to this, but I'm going to rewind
I'd like to
all
cement
the way.
the prosecutor's narrative. Give me the steering angle so that we can talk about it and say, hey, prosecutor, you were right.
Look.
Let's look at it. Let's look at the steering angle. Did he turn right or was he turning left? Was he avoiding the car, or was he crashing into the SUV like Drum lied to?
Instead,
which one is it?
Do me a favor, go over to exhibit. Instead, prosecutor Sarah Sammy, listen to what investigator Robert Drum is telling the independent expert who has a judge order to reconstruct the vehicle. Listen to what he tells him.
What's that? Which one is it? It's in the box. Per my conversation with Sarah, so this is the first time I've ever done this in 18 years. She said we can pull it out for you.
Yeah.
You can look at it. She doesn't want anybody touching it.
Okay.
Like touching it, I mean, can I?
Like if you want to take pictures and all that, but if anything needs to be manipulated,
he's shocked,
we'll do
by
it
the
for
way.
you
Perfect.
for chain of custody issues.
Perfect.
Sure.
Okay.
But yeah, you're more than welcome to like poke around.
Yeah.
But nothing gets moved,
Gotcha,
changed,
gotcha.
or anything
Perfect.
like that. So.
Joel,
Now,
Joel,
on the record,
Sarah Sammy.
prosecutor Sarah Sammy, on the record, during a Brady motion. I mean,
Just the other day.
Just the other day, Brad Hay was standing there. Sarah Sammy's here. Right next to her is Stephanie Buck. Judge Weimer, she tells Judge Carol Weimer, the presiding judge, Your Honor, we never blocked the reconstruction. We allowed the independent expert to reconstruct the vehicle. What the fuck are we talking about?
Rewind that a little bit. Rewind that. Let's hear what Sarah Sammy told Robert Drum. Let's hear it again.
which one is it?
What's that?
Which one is
It's
it?
in the box. Per my conversation with Sarah, so this is the first time I've ever done this in 18 years. She said we can pull it out for you.
Yeah.
You can look at it. She doesn't want anybody touching it.
Okay.
Like touching it, I mean, can I?
Like if you want to take pictures and all that, but if anything needs to be manipulated, we'll do it for you
perfect.
for chain of custody issues.
Perfect.
Sure.
Okay.
But yeah, you're more than welcome to like poke
Pause it
around.
right there.
Yeah.
I've got. I mean, he tells him that again.
And then he says, I need to take the tire off to inspect the brakes. And he said, no, per Sarah Sammy, you're not allowed to do it. You're not allowed to touch anything on the car. Per Sarah Sammy. The liar. What a liar. I mean, it seems like every step of the way we're catching her lies. And now we know why this file is sealed. Now we know why Judge Weimer wants to seal this dash cam audio. Because Sarah Sammy lied again and again. And she keeps lying. That's why Sarah Sammy needs to be thrown off the case. Let's be real. When you have this much bias, when you're this much of a liar, it's time for you to go.
I mean, the real question is,
it's time for you to go.
I mean, she flat out lied.
You
in
gotta
court.
go.
She flat out lied.
Look,
Mustafa's defense
Sarah
attorney.
Sammy, you gotta go.
Oh, 100%. 100%. There's animosity towards Mustafa.
Fuck animosity.
There's
She's
animosity.
a liar.
She flat out. And the problem I have, I circle back. Mustafa's defense attorney, Brad Haywood, why is he not holding her accountable? He can easily take the facts in this case and show, one, that she lied. Every other
So she
step of
lied
the corner.
about the car inspection.
Exactly.
Okay, she lied about the kids being coached. She lied about Mustafa having Jason Nance in his car. She lied about the jail incident. Okay?
Listen to this. Do me a favor. Go over to exhibit. Listen to this. I mean,
Let's listen to him.
listen to this.
I look at the master cylinder and all that.
Just look at that car. Look at that car.
They crushed and
Unbelievable.
staged it.
Unbelievable. Every time I see that shit, it's
By
like,
the way, their only purpose is for him to rescan the car because what they've done is they crushed Dorothy's side. You saw the body cam earlier where investigator Davis is pointing to Dorothy's front passenger.
Amar, not only that, but-
for Chad Mason to get on the stand and says, Your Honor, Mustafa never cleared the vehicle.
what did Drum say? He said head-on collision. Look at the driver fender. Look at how they crushed the driver fender. I mean, you want to tell me that a Faro or Leica scan of this vehicle is not going to show head-on collision? The vehicle was T-boned. Clearly, it was T-boned. But after you crush it and you want somebody else to come in and scan it, now the report is going to come out. This is a head-on collision.
I mean,
That's what it's going to show. It's going to show head-on collision. Okay,
I mean, in court.
Put that picture up. Put that picture up real quick.
I was gonna give.
Yeah,
you this
put the one next.
Oh, that one. Yeah, I got you.
The two next to each other. Okay, because there is. I mean, look, listen. You want to tell us you extended the dash, you moved the dash so that you can get to the ACM, PCM, whatever the fuck you wanted to do. Just, I'll take you to one specific section. Fuck the roof, by the way. Forget the roof. Look at the driver fender and tell me that a new scan of this vehicle is not going to show this is a head-on collision, rather than what it actually was, which was a T-bone accident. The SUV T-boned Mustafa's car. Robert Drum chops up at the fender so
You're not on the exhibit.
so that the new scan would show, oh, this is a head-on collision.
I mean, not only that, Investigator Davis says we put hydraulic here. Okay, this is Dorsey's side, by the way. This is the front
you have
passenger.
the other picture of the driver fender?
Yeah. I was just going to make a really quick point.
Go on.
Investigator Davis, on that body cam, he said, we put hydraulic right here, to roll the vehicle forward. You crushed Dorothy's side. I mean, Investigator Chad Mason got on the stand, and he testified that Mustafa never cleared the SUV, and the SUV hit his girlfriend, crushed his girlfriend. That Mustafa crushed his girlfriend. Wait a minute. The impact is right here.
That's where the impact is.
Here.
It was T-boned.
Right here. You see right here? Okay. Now, if you crush here and you have an independent expert rescan the car, it's going to show you delete the original scan, you crush it here. Now, the scan is going to pick up that Mustafa never cleared the SUV. And that's the whole point. They want to tell you that Mustafa never made it to the fourth lane.
Mustafa
that he
drove
never,
into the SUV. That's
he
what
drove into the SUV. He maneuvered the vehicle. He never cleared the SUV. Why not show the steering angle?
Why not show the steering angle? Exactly.
Why not show the steering angle? Because, I mean, the
Did
SUV...
his wheel turn right at all?
A witness says the
It
SUV
didn't.
turned into Mustafa. Robert Drum on the scene says the SUV, the only way this vehicle accident can happen, if the SUV turned into Mustafa. You cut the dash camera. You removed the steering angle. You refuse to have an independent expert reconstruct the vehicle. I mean, you crush and stage the vehicle.
Look,
I want to play the body cam with where he blocks him from. I want to go back to that body cam real quick because Sarah Sammy in court says that we let him reconstruct the vehicle. What are you talking about? You're literally on body cam. Your investigator is saying, prosecutor Sarah Sammy says you cannot touch the vehicle. Let me go back to that body cam real quick. And my question is, why is Mustafa's defense attorney allowing her to get away with it? I mean, he can literally put in a motion. He can put in a motion and say and put this in a motion and says, here on this body cam, investigator Robert Drum says prosecutor Sarah Sammy said you cannot touch the vehicle.
She didn't allow him.
Let me go to...
I find it interesting that Casey Stevens is like a little bitch just sitting there.
I mean, how is that allowed?
He has nothing to say about a judge order. He can't stand there and say, hey, well, a judge ordered my client gets his car inspected. But it shows you that they're only interested in
rescanning the car.
In the scan. That's all they're not interested in the expert looking at the brakes. They're not interested in the expert looking deeper into this car, actually reconstructing this accident. They're only interested in one thing. And when I say they, I mean Casey Stevens, who's working for the prosecutor. He's only interested in one thing alone. They want to scan the car after they damage specific portions of it, like the B-pillar, the driver fender, and the scan is not human. It's a computer. It's going to say this is a head-on collision. Based on the new damage, based on the damage to that car, it's a head-on collision. And God knows, maybe something blew up in it because the roof is missing. Yeah, I mean, when you take a picture of it...
Did you know that they entered these pictures into the record? So the jury is not going to see the vehicle before it was crushed. They're going to see this.
Photos. Yeah, they
and
entered the photos.
They want to play
exhibits.
exactly.
They want to tell the jury.
And then you tell Brad Hayward, Mustafa's defense attorney, evidence show that the police department crushed and staged the vehicle. He tells you, we'll let the jury know during trial. What the fuck are you talking about? So you're telling me that you're going to stand there in front of the jury and tell the jury, my client's car is crushed and staged. The prosecutor is going to get up. She's going to put an independent, her expert on the stand and says, that vehicle was not crushed or staged. We had to extract the ACM. Is the jury going to listen to you or listen to a police expert? Shouldn't you put this in a motion?
That's a clear.
Shouldn't you put this in a motion and show that, hey, file a motion to dismiss, show the evidence, you have body cams and evidence.
He's never going to get a fair trial. Never. You can instruct the jury over and over and over that Drum lied, they smashed his car, they fucked his dash camera, they coached the children. You're never going to get a fair shot. You're never going to get a fair trial. You will never get a fair trial.
I want to go back to you, Casey Stephen. I want to go back. Do me a favor. Go over to exhibit. Absolutely. And we'll go over Brady versus Maryland and what Brady versus Maryland says specifically about a vehicle that's crushed and staged. Do me a favor. Go over to exhibit. I want to play Casey Stephen just to hammer this point home that this defense attorney is working for the police.
I can't believe he's still a lawyer. That's unbelievable. I feel bad for anybody.
What?
I feel bad for this community.
Casey said nothing from the enemy.
Give him a fucking beer.
Oh my God, yeah.
He literally says, I'll take a beer. To the same officer that pulled him over for DUI in 2016.
He's a drunk.
The same officer today falsifying your client's statements.
He's a
Christian,
drunk.
you want something?
He'll do anything for a beer. Absolutely.
Nothing from the.
He's got no standards, basically.
Absolutely. It's sad.
No standards.
It's really sad.
What a piece of shit.
Hurts my feelings, Casey. Some of these defense lawyers think everybody's a fucking liar and all that sort of shit.
How's
Not everybody. You're a liar.
how's Moses doing?
I don't think he's doing very well.
How'd that competency thing come back?
Haven't gotten it back yet. They're taking forever to get to it.
The way he says it.
I think I filed that a month ago. They finally got. At first, they were wanting to continue the case so they could get it done, and then, like the same day in the afternoon, they finally got somebody. They didn't have anybody.
Inspiring.
Some will tell you, look at how, he cares about Mustafa. He's asking about him. I'm going to show you a body cam and what he says about Mustafa. So when you watch this and you want to say, oh, well, this investigator cares about Mustafa, he's checking about the well-being of Mustafa, we'll watch a body cam of what this investigator is going around telling other people that are potentially witnesses. And he's telling children, weaponizing these children against Mustafa. Children that loved Mustafa.
By the way,
he's telling them that Mustafa is guilty.
He's not
he
asking.
did this on purpose.
He's not asking. He's rubbing in the May 24th beating, the sexual assault.
Oh, that's right. Mustafa was beaten up by a correctional officer inside the jail.
He's rubbing it in. He says, oh, how is he holding up? He's rubbing it in. He knows what the fuck Rob Davis paid to do. He knows when they employed that money, when they employed their money into this case, they had Mustafa beaten by correctional officers, stripped naked, humiliated. Beaten on the head until he passed out, blacked out. You want to ask how he's doing? You really care about how he's doing? Get the fuck out of here. Fucking pay.
Do me a favor, go over to exhibit. We're going to play that body cam with the beating inside the jail because we have the CCTV video when Mustafa was beaten up inside the jail, carried unconscious from one cell into another cell. I find it really interesting that Mustafa's defense attorney can fucking get him a psychiatrist, but can't fucking get him medical. We don't know what's wrong with Mustafa. Mustafa was beaten up, carried unconscious from one cell into another cell.
After losing his family in a tragic accident.
I've yet to hear Mustafa's defense attorney go up to Mustafa and tell him, hey, Mustafa, I saw the CCTV video in your file about your beating. Are you doing okay? Are you healing from the compounding fractures that are healing improperly? I hear that you're in pain constantly.
Instead, they ask, why don't you trust lawyers?
I
don't get you, man.
But he can get you a psychiatrist.
I don't get you.
Before he gets your exonerating evidence.
I don't understand.
It's not adding up. Do me a favor. Go over to exhibit.
I think somebody just bureaucratic dropped the ball somewhere for a little bit. But my guess is it's likely to be continued. They got Susan Frank is the...
In the background, he's scanning the vehicle. You see the independent extra right there? He's scanning the fucking car.
The car that they crushed.
After they crushed and staged the car, he's scanning it. What the fuck are we tired? That's a scanner.
Oh, man.
By the way, if you didn't have the seal file, you couldn't verify what they're doing behind the scene. Obviously, who's going to tell you?
They've entered the car that they've crushed. They've entered into those photos as exhibits.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
psychologist.
Some
who's
questionable
doing it.
stuff going on in Prince William
She's-
County.
She, in my experience, tends to be very last minute on shit. You know, you're getting stuff, the night before.
Okay.
Type stuff. So.
He's pressing Mustafa's lawyer to get him. When are you going to get the psychiatrist? Can we just write him off as incompetent? Because we're going to hide his evidence and just write him off as incompetent.
Well, let's
and
hear
just
what
call
he
it a
says
day.
next.
So that wouldn't surprise me. She ended up needing more time. We needed it. It's like your interview with me, It keeps repeating, I took care of these kids, I fed these kids, I cooked for these kids, just over and over.
By the way, you think he's done asking about the psychiatrist? He's going to wait a couple of minutes, and he's going to bring it up again. He can't let it go.
He's so pressed on it. He's so pressed.
Let's see if this is it. So Casey Stephen walks away.
Crying? Is he crying? Or is he having like an orgasm or something?
Is he crying? He calls Dorothy the dead chick on the scene. What the fuck are we talking
He's
about?
acting. He's acting for the expert. He wants to show this expert life.
He wants to play on emotion.
The white girl died and the Muslim man lived.
The white girl died and the Muslim man
He
lived.
has to pay no
and
matter
Mustafa lived. It doesn't matter that this is a car accident. We're talking about a Mustafa here. That's what he's doing here. I
That's
mean,
what they're
you look
doing.
at this whole entire case. That's what they're doing.
They're
they don't
laughing it
care.
up. Listen, they're laughing it up. Drum and Mason are calling her the dead chick. They fucking abused her children. Her children. They abused them. The night they lost their mother, they were abused by Robert, Drum, and Mason. Okay? These people have no feelings. Drum, Mason. I mean, these people, I don't know how they get into law enforcement. Honestly. I don't know how they appear to be fucked up, to be honest with you.
They appear to be fucked up.
In Casey Stevens' words, they appear to be fucked up.
Look, I'll tell you the point of this whole entire podcast is to explain the details that are coming out of this case. I mean, we're waiting. Mustafa is waiting. Mustafa is patiently waiting.
Look, it shouldn't be this hard to get some fucking dash cam audio that Chad Mason did in half a minute. Okay? It shouldn't take that long to plug in this into a computer and get the steering angle. It doesn't take that long. I can plug this into my computer. This is a ACM from a 2007 Chrysler.
You went all the way to the junkyard and got yourself the ACM.
Absolutely. We went to the junkyard to show Prince William County Police how it's done. We wanted to show Prince William County Police, with all their years of experience, we wanted to show you how you can go into a vehicle, specifically a 2007 Chrysler, and extract this computer without crushing the evidence, without crushing exculpatory evidence. Why don't we just show them how it's done?
Absolutely. Now we're gonna end the podcast with this video.
Let's end it. Yeah.
And before we end the podcast, I want to end the podcast with Mustafa's defense attorney should be writing a motion to, this prosecutor, Sarah Sami, in court, on the record, lied every step of the way. Mustafa's defense attorney literally can put in a motion and get her kicked off the case.
Fucking kicked off the case.
We want her off the fucking case.
There is not a section in this case that hasn't been falsified or tampered with. There's not a single thing. Like, I can't look at one piece of information in this case and not say somebody fucked around with this. Whether it's the car, whether it's the dash cam, whether it's the children, whether it's the apartment complex where they were living. Everything in this case has been tampered with. Mustafa will never get a fair trial. And if he was a white boy, they would have dismissed the shit a long time ago. Clearly. Obviously, they would have never brought charges. They would have said, oh, poor man, he lost his family. Why don't we get him some help? Let's give him some brief
Mustafa,
counseling.
absolutely. Mustafa is patiently waiting for the vehicle to be reconstructed, the vehicle accident to be reconstructed. Mustafa is patiently waiting for his SD card to be extracted. And once that's on the table, he's going to sit down with Dr. Specker. Because Dr. Specker needs to see that this man is innocent. I mean, I don't think that's too much to ask. And
It's not too much to ask.
I think we can all agree that Mustafa is entitled to due process. Mustafa, you're charging Mustafa with murder. You're telling me that he can't look at his evidence
as a United
to
States
defend
citizen,
himself?
He has a constitutional right to due process.
Mustafa's defense attorney should go to the court. I mean, what is the problem here? I mean, Mustafa's defense attorney says, I don't have time. I don't have the money. I don't have the fund.
The
to go sit
prosecutors
down.
won't dismiss it.
Well, no. I mean, like, Mustafa should be able to go through the body cams, the discovery, the any piece of evidence in his case.
That's
how he's going to defend himself.
The cell phone data dump.
The cell phone data dump. He should be able to see I mean, you're using Kylie as a witness, the 16-year-old. Kylie, in a forensic interview,
Who says she wasn't there?
Says she wasn't there. My mom blocked me. I think it's fair to find out why her mother blocked her. What text communication took place between Dorothy and Kylie?
Exculpatory evidence.
Exculpatory evidence.
Which Mustafa's entitled to.
I mean,
2.5 years, and they're not even giving him the data
No,
dump?
Mustafa. Mustafa's told, don't look here, don't look there. Mustafa should be entitled
to look at whatever the fuck he wants to look
himself.
at. Yeah.
And if you have to, as a defense attorney, if you have to make a motion, write a motion to Judge Weimer and tell him, I need funds to sit down with my client once or twice a week because I have a file that you sealed. You denied Mustafa bond. Now he sits in jail. Based on lies. Based on lies. We have a file.
They put him in this position.
I mean, Prosecutor Sarah Sammy has been proffering for 2.5 years, lying. Now the file is sealed. I mean, that we can verify that she's lying in real time. I mean, if I didn't have the file, when we go to this Brady motion, and she says, I never sat down with the children.
Bullshit.
I can't verify that. Now I have a sealed file that I can verify that.
Bullshit.
When she says, I never talked and were updated that this vehicle had brake failure.
Bullshit.
I have a body cam that they're updating her.
Yeah.
I mean, every step of the way, they're updating this prosecutor. And she sits in court.
He literally just said, Sammy said you're not allowed to touch the car. And she tells Judge Weimer the other day.
That's sad.
Your Honor,
That's disturbing.
We let the expert do whatever he wants. No, Robert Drum just told the expert you're not allowed to inspect the car. You're not allowed to manipulate the car.
And by the way, I mean,
look, man,
I'll tell you.
Let's just show. I really want to show.
I think this is a good point to end the podcast.
I really
with
want
the
to
video.
show. I want to show Prince William County Police how you can extract a airbag control module without destroying evidence. Okay, with all your years of experience, Chief Newsham, you should really pay attention to this, and maybe have a lot of your officers watch this video that we're gonna play. Okay,
absolutely.
We're gonna teach you how to extract this piece of equipment from a 2007 Chrysler, and if you have more questions on other cars, we will be more than happy with our own time donated to the police department. Any car you'd like. Give us the year, make, and model, and we're going to show you how to extract the airbag control module without
destroying the evidence.
Without destroying the evidence.
On that note, I want to thank everybody for being here. Don't forget to hit the like button, share the podcast, support the podcast through the Cash App. This is not another boring podcast. Mustafa, through the police body cam, Judge Carol Weimer, you're under the microscope. Mustafa is coming home. Exonerating evidence is coming out. Prosecutor Sarah Sammy, you will be held accountable by law. Your police officer will be held accountable by law. And I promise you, you will be going to jail. You are a heartbeat away from going to jail. Mustafa's extraction for the SD card for his dash camera is coming out. Mustafa's reconstruction is getting done. There is a judge order. There is money on the table from the government to get that done. We're going to get justice for Mustafa. We're going to get justice for his girlfriend, Dorothy. And we're going to get justice for 5-year-old Empress. This is not another boring podcast. I leave you with the video from today when we extracted the ACM, the box inside the vehicle, without having to crushing and staging the vehicle, chopping up the roof. I mean, this is not another boring podcast. Mustafa through the police body cam. Judge Weimer, you are under the microscope.
Well, I'm here at the junkyard. I've got my tools. I've got a vehicle, a Chrysler. I'm going to show your investigator that he didn't have to chop up and crush the vehicle to get to the ACM. Because I've got pictures.
What is this? 2007 Chrysler 300. Same exact year, same exact vehicle.
Your police department, Investigator Davis and Investigator Robert Drum says they crushed the vehicle specifically where Dorothy sits, the B pillar, because they wanted to get the box and the ACM. Well, I have pictures of the vehicle after the accident at the scene. The vehicle wasn't caved in. They had access to the ACM. They had access to the box. And I have pictures of the vehicle inside the police department where they're crushing the vehicle and they're saying, we want to get to the ACM. They had access to the ACM. Right here is the vehicle. This is the same vehicle that Mustafa drives. This is where the ACM is. You literally, you just yank that apart. That's where the ACM sits. The ACM is right here. This is where the ACM sits.
First thing you're gonna do, you don't chop up the roof. That's number one. You literally just take this out. It's plastic. You're not worried about it. You could break it. You get this out of the way. It's held by 1, 2, 3, 4. Take it out. You take out 1 wire, 2 wires. Okay. And then you have a 10 right there. That's bolt number 1. So we took out 1 bolt, 2 bolts, and then you got 1 more. All you have to do is go in. That's simple. Okay, basic tools. Basic tools. Okay, you go in here, you take out 2 wires, you rip this fucking plastic piece out. You rip this plastic piece out. You take out 2 bolts, and it's right there. You want to tell me Drum couldn't get this out without destroying Mustafa's car? He couldn't get this piece out without destroying Mustafa's car? Which, I remind you, at the time, I'll remind you. At the time of the crushing of Mustafa's car, it's considered evidence because Mustafa told Chad Mason the night of the accident that he pressed the brakes and the brakes didn't work. So from that point on, that car is considered evidence. And they went and chopped the roof. I mean, what is chopping this part, tearing into this part, tearing into that part? What does that have to do with getting this piece of equipment out?
The body cam show, Investigator Davis and Investigator Robert Drum says that we chopped up the roof. We had the fire department chop up the roof for us
And the B pillar.
Put hydraulic on the B pillar. That's Dorothy's passenger, front passenger. Roll the vehicle forward to get to the ACM. Wait a minute. I have pictures of the vehicle at the scene after the accident. That this vehicle was not caved in. You had access to the ACM. Why did you crush the vehicle? You crushed the vehicle. I'll tell you why you crushed the vehicle. You crushed it because you're staging it. You crushed Dorothy's sides. Only for investigator Chad Mason, prosecutor Sarah Sammy put Chad Mason on the stand and testified that the B pillar, Dorothy's side, is crushed because of Mustafa. There's a body cam where you crushed the B.
Rob Davis.
Rob Davis and investigator Davis.
Cruz.
They're saying that we crushed Dorothy's side.
He tells that to county mechanic.
I have a body cam where they're talking about crushing Dorothy's side. You're crushing and staging the vehicle. Now, I can say, where's the chief of police? Where's the county? Where's this prosecutor? Where the fuck is his lawyer? Mustafa's lawyer is Brad Haywood. The county, the government gave Brad Haywood $100,000. Gave Mustafa a lawyer, Brad Haywood. You can look him up. Where the fuck is Mustafa's lawyer from filing a motion to dismiss? You have all the evidence that the county crushed and staged Mustafa's car. Where the fuck is his lawyer?
If any of that is posted anywhere on the internet, we're going to have problems. Whatever copies have been made of that, those need to be destroyed.
Okay.
Okay? If they get disclosed, that is